being kicked at least once. But
Yeah,
they came back so quickly.
I think we should be back.
Looks like it.
Oh, yep, we're back.
Hooray, we're back.
Woohoo.
Thank you for putting up with the twitchy glitch.
We were saying we could have asked anything of the machine. Yes. We're going to have to decipher this one manually.
Exactly. But that's actually fun. That's a fun thing. Thoughts are so fun.
All secrets have answers.
We just have to know where to look and who to ask.
That is very true.
Speaking of where to know and who to ask, might I bother the two of you for a moment?
I'll even give you 2. Go ahead.
I think the Contessa fancies me. Have you seen how she acts around me? I wanted to get your opinion.
The Contessa is a interesting woman. And I think there are many things that the Contessa, want and does not want in this life. But I think that is a question you have to, speak to her about. Maybe after you speak about the corset.
All right. Are you sure, though? It doesn't seem like the whole, subtle wink and a nod that the game type of thing that the Contessa plays with everyone.
I'll be completely honest with you, Oberon. You would not pick up on subtle.
That's for sure.
I will say, in a very serious manner, that the best way to find out the questions to your answers when it comes to someone you may or may not like is you just have to speak to them and ask them.
Well, I tried to play the subtle game with her, and I don't think it worked.
Please tell me what you did.
I think I was too subtle.
Oh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I sent her a dozen red roses.
And did you leave a card?
Well, no, that's the whole point of being subtle, isn't it?
That would be anonymous.
Yeah.
Not subtle.
It's too subtle. That was too subtle.
So, subtle would be saying something that implies something. Not being in the room and saying it like in the coat closet isn't being subtle. That's removing yourself from the room.
Why would I want to talk to her in a closet?
Exactly. You should talk to her in the open. You're so cute. And she kind of like punches you in the shoulder and then continues down the hallway.
Yeah, I'll just give you a couple nice pats. I'll be like, just talk to her a little bit on. Preferably just the two of you. But after the corset thing, I would really, really like to see the outcome of that one.
All right.
And on that note, what is the Contessa and Jasser doing on the front steps?
Well, before we got to the front steps, the Contessa is going to unbustle the front of her skirt.
Okay.
Because it was useful getting down the hill, but now she needs to make a statement and an entrance.
Would you like any help?
Always up for help. But do you think, should I let the hair down? Are we going for the lost in the woods? Please help me, I need so much help. Where are we going?
I would say we are in a little bit of distress, and that always opens a door.
Always opens the door. All right, well, let's take the hair down.
Jasser looks around, strategically places a leaf in the Countess's hair, fluffs their shirt a little bit.
Shakes it out. She'll slide the pin down the front of her bodice.
I knew the blood is a bit much, but I will stand a little bit behind so I do not draw all of the attention.
I mean, it looks very real. Your props department is fabulous. Do you want to just, be very wounded until we get in the door? Or just minorly beat up?
Minorly beat up. I do not want to scare them.
Okay. Well then, let us go and make some new friends.
Agreed.
So we'll walk up to the front door and knock very firmly. Hello? Is anybody home? I need some help.
And Jasser is going to play social graces on this.
I will double that. So.
Okay. So whoever has the lowest, or would that be heart for social graces? No, spade. Lowest spade. Play your lowest spade as you combine your base scores.
I have a 4.
What is my lowest spade? Hold on a sec. Computer, come back. Yeah, mine is a 5. So.
Okay.
And then my social graces is good.
Mine is also good.
So that makes it a 16.
Mm-hmm.
Plus 2.
Plus 2.
Oh, right.
Well, no, because you're combining it. You can opt to use it. You can opt to keep it for the next one. So that way one of you doesn't lose yours, or both of you use them on one.
I have a feeling that I'm going to need that pocket too.
Yeah, we'll hold that one in reserve.
Okay. So you knock on the door, and your presentation was lovely and convincing. And you can hear a little bit of an echo of the knock. And it takes just a moment, and then the door creaks open about 4 inches and stops.
Is this an invitation?
I don't want to be rude, but I have just fallen out of a car, and I really need some help getting out of this.
Your door is open. We are going to step inside. And Chaucer will slowly push the door a little further open.
The door moves without any trouble. It does creak as it goes. And you'll see the entrance, the entryway of the vestibule. Mm-hmm. The marble tile. Another door beyond it that is open. Most of the way open. I'd say about 3/4 of the way open into the second section of the vestibule. And beyond that, you can see the main hall. There's this eerie green light that kind of permeates the rooms and highlights the different features of the walls, the door, the staircase off in the distance. All in all, there's a creepy vibe to it, for lack of a better term. But there is no one answering. At least not with a voice.
So I'll take the front door opening as offering of entry. We appreciate your help for wounded strangers and weary travelers.
I don't think that we are going to get any verbal response.
Yes. I have a question, Signore. Would you say that based on the fact that everything's lit up green, that doesn't look natural, we aren't dealing with, normal people?
If we were on a stage, I would say the green light is for nature or for something foreboding. But in the estate, it is not good.
No, it's not. DM.
Yes.
Because my social graces are good, would I know anything appropriate about, say, things like guest rights involving Fae? Because they did open the door to us.
Of the Sealy, yeah, you think you'd be fine. There's a lot less known about what, if any, rights there are amongst the Unseelie.
Yeah, if she doesn't know that, that's fine. She'll just go with what she thinks she knows and just kind of work it that way.
You would think that as long as you don't accept anything actively, that you haven't entered into any sort of Fey contract.
Okay. Well then.
Let us proceed a little bit further, and maybe we'll get an answer.
I think we're going to try and walk inside your charming house. It's very charming. And she's being very loud as she walks in the door. I do love what you've done with the decorating, however. This is very fabulous. I've never seen anything like it.
It is quite a set stage you have here.
Your voice seems to carry throughout the building a little bit. There's not any response at this point. You do feel a notable, like, I don't know, change in temperature in the manor, but it's not extreme. I'm assuming that's Jasser playing perception.
Oui.
The light, what you pick up on, adding that to your, is it good perception or great? I forget.
It's good.
Good. You pick up on the light seems to be actually coming from the second floor. And it's kind of descending like I don't know, fog might slowly be falling upon the land, or mist, whichever one comes down versus the one that comes up. I get those mixed up.
I'll lean into the Contessa. Perhaps we stay on the premier étage until we see our friends.
Of course. It wouldn't be polite to go upstairs into somebody's bedroom when we haven't been invited.
And Jasser looks up at the light and the descending mist and says, I don't know about invitations, but that light...
Yes, it's not very welcoming.
It's not that it's not welcoming, it's out of place. There is something there, and it may be worth discovering, but I do not have the faculties.
Yes, it is a shame that Signore Oberon couldn't join us. He would have been quite useful here.
He is such a strong man.
He is absolutely fascinating.
Well, you can tell he has something for you.
I'm entertained. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, you don't give him a moment.
I spend a lot of time working.
Yes. It is interesting to watch him squirm. I will say that.
I figure maybe in the end it might be fun. I haven't done anything for myself in fun in a while.
I figure at this point, Jasser and the Contessa have made their way basically toward the staircase, and Jasser looks right toward down the corridor towards the billiard room, and then looks left towards the living room. Are the doors open?
The doors are open. You'll also, I would say, 2/3 of the way open. They're actually double doors that slide into their pocket doors. They slide into the walls, and they're about 2/3 of the way open, right in the middle. You'll find also you'll pick up on a very faint sound coming from somewhere. You think maybe on this floor, definitely not from above, and it's reminiscent of the times that you've been out with friends or other actors and they've had too much to drink, and then that next morning they're just kind of like groggily coming awake, and you know that soft kind of moan that people seem to let out. It's that kind of a sound.
From which direction, or is it just kind of all over?
In the space where you are right now, you can't quite place it. The acoustics in this building kind of bounce it around a little bit. You don't think it's actually coming from every place with your stage knowledge. You think that something about the architecture of especially this room is kind of playing with your ear a little.
Let us find our friends.
Well, I think we should check the salon first.
D'accord.
You know, wouldn't want to be considered rude.
Of course.
At least not yet. No, she's gonna walk towards the living room, and she's gonna lean. She's still on Jasser's arm, and she's going to lean into them and say, "Plus, I'm very sure that if they're coming from the cellar, they're going to come up into the kitchen, and the best way to get to the kitchen is always through the dining room."
Of course. This place is reminiscent of some others that I've been in before.
It's not actually that bad. The decorator is aside from the fog and the lights, but it could be very nice, and it's almost as nice as my late husband's house. Almost.
Certainly sets a mood.
Would be a very interesting mood. And she's gonna walk kind of purposefully into the living room.
Yeah.
And just like she has every right to be here. You've opened the door to her. She's not hiding.
Yeah. The chasseur will follow as assertively.
Okay. So as you make your way into the living room, you'll see to the left, it extends toward the front of the building. You can see the window at the front. There are bookcases on that wall. Across from the doorway, you see a large bay window with a seat. There is no longer any furniture in this room. However, you do see the fireplace immediately to your left with a large hearth, and to your right is the opening toward the dining room. The doors are fully in the wall there, and it's completely open to the dining room with a bookcase on each side of the opening. The floors themselves are intricately laid woods in different species to give off different colors, as it gives a feel of having a large rug worked into the hardwood pattern itself.
Jasser kind of looks over at the Contessa with kind of a conspiratorial look in their eye, and then kind of extends themselves out and goes to kind of twirl the Contessa along the room toward the
Oh.
front of the house.
She'll go with it. Full spins. Make it look as effortless as possible.
Could you imagine the kind of parties that they had here? This is grand.
It is absolutely fabulous. I do love the floors. The floors are I will have to make a note about this. I definitely think a lot of effort went into this.
Hmm.
And as she spins back, she wants to take a glance at the fireplace. Does it look like it's been used at all recently?
It does.
Well, somebody's been here. They got cold.
Hmm. And Jester will follow the Contessa's glance and look at the fireplace. And, oh, yes. That makes sense.
Do you investigate it further, or do you leave it at a distance?
I think the Jester would go for it.
Yeah, I think the
Okay.
Contessa would too.
I'm trying not to play as Kenny here. Kenny may have gone through the back door, by the way.
Deirdre would have gone through the side window that way and make sure nobody had gotten through it.
As you get to the fireplace, you'll notice that the wood that was burned in there, you can tell by its shape because it was turned wood, that the furniture seems to have been used as the kindling for the fire. Looking about through the soot without having to dig through it, but just kind of scanning it, you'll notice bits of paper, burned edges, corners that kind of flaked off and fell out of the flame as someone was burning documents.
Hard times.
Is there anything? Is there any way to tell what the documents were?
Are you gonna lean down and collect a scrap or two of the paper that's salvageable?
Yeah.
What you can gather from, I don't know, together with Kenny's perception and then your natural perception, you can pick up a couple of them, and one of them shows that there's like a torn edge, like someone had torn the piece of paper, and on the other, but you can't make out any of the writing, or ink. On the other one, you get a little bit more of the ink, and you notice that it's handwritten, and the word in Spanish for cat, it says gato.
Always interesting to see what people try to destroy or
I-
hide.
Somehow don't believe that this is about someone's pet.
No, most definitely not. Also, realistically speaking, they used the wrong wood for this. Varnished wood wouldn't burn hot enough.
If it is all you have, and you're trying to do something quick.
There's that. And she'll pocket the pieces that she has.
Okay.
Are there any means to start the fire? Are there any tools to stoke it? Like, is there anything like that around there?
Yes, there is a fireplace poker kind of laying on the ground to the left of the fireplace, and the shovel for cleaning up the soot just to the right of the fireplace.
I wonder how long the guest has been here.
Some time, apparently. Did this coals seem cold?
These coals are cold.
Some very long time. But, will you indulge me in a waltz as we see what we can find in the dining room, signore?
Of course. And I imagine Jasser would hum a waltz that's popular.
Yeah. And she'll waltz with Jasser into the dining room.
I love it. I love it. Love it. As you waltz your way into the dining room, you will notice another fireplace across from you as you make your entrance. A large oaken table in the center, still there, with you would say all but two of its chairs. The sideboard is built in, it's on your right, as well as a door that leads back out to the lobby, you believe. And then further down on the opposite end, to the right of the fireplace, is another door, which, it being that this is the dining room, you believe that would take you right into the kitchen, and then straight across from you to the immediate right of the fireplace is a door out onto the sun parlor.
Well, I just always want to see what somebody keeps in their sideboard. Sometimes they're the most entertaining things. You would be surprised, actually.
I'll check out the this fireplace while you check out that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's going to look at the sideboard.
Okay. Are you going with your natural perception, or are you playing any cards?
I'll bump it by one, just to dump one.
Okay.
But,
Alrighty. So you'll find the sideboard is actually mostly stocked. It has the silver, most of the china. Just from a quick inventory, it doesn't look like there's much missing. There are some missing, but not by a whole lot. There are some linens that have been moth-eaten.
I mean, I'm assuming based on her station and what she does, she can tell good silver from fake. Not necessarily appraise like value, but to be able to say like this is silver or versus silver plate.
Based on the way it has tarnished, because it's been here a while, you would guess that it's real silver or full silver, not silver plate.
Well, she'll pick up one of the steak knives and pocket that.
Okay.
And she'll take one of the extra ones as well. Think about it for a second, and then take two more and walk over to Jasser and say, "This could be useful. Contingencies."
Of course. What has Jasser found in the fireplace?
So as your compatriot has been rifling through the sideboard, you notice that this fireplace has not been used. Above it is a intact portrait. You believe it's actually in really good condition for the age of everything around here. It is a portrait of a gentleman, grayed hair, so older, mustache, darker complexion, a shade or two darker than olive. He broad shoulders, military posture in a way, and he's wearing what you would consider to be like a military coat, but it doesn't have any insignia or colors on it. It's just simple, plain, and black, with a white undershirt that you can see just the edge of the collar that the artist has put in there, most of which has been covered by this military coat. The buttons are brass. No, let me retract that. The buttons are, you think, iron by their color and texture, where they would normally be brass.
Jesser will inspect and just look at it, taking in all the detail of this person. And as soon as the Comtesse comes over, Jesser will incline their head up and say, "Le patron, the owner."
If that's possible.
He's
Does
looking over everything in this room.
yes. Two questions.
Mm-hmm.
Question number 1, does the individual look familiar to anyone the Contessa saw all night at the Di Salinas?
No.
Okay.
This is a completely different figure from anyone that either of you have seen.
Okay. Question number 2. With her connections, is there anything she can tell about the insignias on the coat?
There are none on the coat itself.
I mean, just like the
make of it, so like it's tailoring, that kind of thing.
Yeah, and even if it's not in individual colors, there are certain cuts of coats that are going to be different based on country and army versus navy and
Absolutely.
And do I know of anyone that particularly uses iron buttons instead of brass?
What is your connections?
Great.
Would you like to play a card?
Trying to remember. Ooh, wait. Yes, I would.
Spades, yes.
It's spades? Yeah. Oh, okay. So there's that.
And would you like to add that +2 as well?
Yeah, let's add the +2.
Okay, so that'll put you at a 16. You will actually, it does look a little familiar. The cut for sure, it's definitely Prussian, which seems out of place for being outside Barcelona. The gentleman doesn't look Prussian, but the military jacket definitely is in its design. You don't know if maybe he's, a fan of that culture or lived there for a while, or it was given to him as a gift. The buttons themselves at first don't really ring a bell. Like, who would use iron? That just, especially for someone of a station, that doesn't make any sort of statement. But you do know that there were different time periods when there were conflicts, military conflicts, and different materials were at a different priority depending on what it was. And brass is very moldable, and Prussia has been very much at the front of military technology. And you know that their cannons use brass shells. And during their last conflict, you remember a young military-minded gentleman who fancied himself to be a general one day, fawning over you while you were in Vienna, telling you all about boring, pointless military history, that they had a shortage of brass. And some of the nobles wanted to make it known that they were contributing, and they had their attire refitted with other metals, lesser metals, as a way of saying that they had too have sacrificed to the cause.
Well, I would not expect the Spanish gentleman to be wearing a Prussian military uniform.
That is intriguing.
Very much so. A noble officer's uniform, but no insignia, no rank.
How large is this painting?
Oh, I'd
Like,
say, like, rough estimate,
Yeah.
30 by 52.
Oh, it's a
Is it?
wall.
It's a like over the fireplace. It takes up like that section.
Okay. So it would not be
It is a
pullable.
grand portrait.
So it's like a 3x6. It's a 3 foot by 6 foot, roughly.
Yeah, just shy of 3x6. Yes. So if you pulled it down, or 3x5, just shy of a 3x5. If you pulled it down and like cut it out of the frame, you could definitely roll it up and take it with you.
No.
I'll
If
commit the face to the memory.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just I will say, I wish I could see the back. It does not look like it could tip.
It would be.
And Jacer is not very athletic.
Well, there's a chair right there, and she'll go and pick the chair. Drag the chair over to the fireplace. Get up on. Can you give me a hand for a second?
Jacer looks at the Contessa, looks over, grabs a chair, pulls it up. All right, we will do this together then.
We're not taking it off. We're just checking it. Also, the mantle is perfectly fine. It's a stone mantle. It'll hold our weight.
Okay. Can we play anything for this?
You can definitely play a card based on, I would say, athletics is what you're looking at. So
Okay.
a club of any or something physical. So
Okay.
a club of any sort.
I played the queen.
There you go.
Yep.
So if you're, there you go. So together you successfully can pull it off the wall with that card, or you could simply just tip it to look behind it.
Given the ease of which it's being moved, I think just move it. Let's put it down, and then we can have a better look.
Yep, that works.
And the table would be large enough to hold it.
Absolutely.
So, just let us rest over there.
And we'll lay it out. And I just want to know who the painter was. They did a fabulous job. I might want to commission them.
It is an interesting portrait.
As you lay it down, face down, onto the table, and you look at the back of it, you will find a title and a signature on the frame at the top of the frame. And the title says, The Iron Master. And at the bottom is where the signature is. And it is, let me get the spelling correct for you. It is spelled Ruaque.
Joachim?
Ruach.
Q-U-E, yeah.
Well, it could be French. It could be Spanish.
It may be a little bit of both.
Could be either. Definitely. I mean, it doesn't look Italian to her, right?
No, it does not look Italian.
It doesn't really look French either, though.
It doesn't look French to Jacer.
And it doesn't really look Spanish. Oh, it could be Spanish.
It could be Spanish, but it's not super Spanish from your experience in Barcelona. As Jacer, as you kind of like look up from the painting, you kind of notice that it was staring directly out the front window.
Mm-hmm.
And in the reflection of the front window, just for a brief moment, you see the painting still hanging behind you. And with that, we will take our break.
Spooky.
Thank you all for sticking with us. Give us about 8 to 10 minutes as we take a quick break, and we will be right back.
And we're back. Hello, everyone. So where were we?
So we're going to let the reflection linger for a minute as we return to the basement, the waterlogged basement, where Isolina, Carolina, and Oberon were making their way through the hall that they found. It was not stairs, into yet another chamber. This one does not have foodstuffs of any sort. It does have random implements. Seems like storage for things that would have been out of season. So this might be where they store their winter clothes, or they store whatever. There's a number of chests and like foot lockers and baskets and things like that across numerous shelves.
And I figure the ones on the ground are probably water damaged.
Absolutely. So the heavier foot lockers that are on the ground, like the larger ones, they are definitely have been sitting in water. Though by the time you get here, there seems to be a slight slope, so it's only about 1.5 inches to 2 inches. You've lost about 1 inch of depth in the water.
Well, my feet are already wet. That's not going to change much.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick one of the footlockers that stands on a... If there's one that stands on a shelf, I'd like
There
to
are
try
smaller
to pry it
ones
open.
that are on a shelf, yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to pry one open, just see what's inside.
Okay. They're actually not locked. They are latched, but not locked.
Okay.
So you open it up and you find primarily clothing. In this one in particular, it looks like boys' clothing. So ranging based on the sizes, ranging from, I don't know, 7 to maybe 12, 13. Nothing really of interest, though.
Okay. Nothing that screams, I'm a bloody murderer.
No. This all looks like it's left over from whoever was here before.
All right, let's just keep going then.
Okay. So you came straight through the back and you had this chamber, or the first chamber you're in. Then there was a hall and then this chamber. There is a hall to each side, but not going straight. So you can go left or right from the direction you came.
Do we see any stairs if I look left and right?
No, you do not.
All right, well...
Your light doesn't reach that far, basically, is what it comes down to.
Which way, as we've been walking, which way is the edge of the house and which way is the way into, like, further into the house?
So you walked in from the back of the house. So behind you would be out. To the left would be the short side because your entrance was a little further on, we're going to call that the east side of the house, or the right side if you were facing the front door. So you know that would have been the closest to the end wall, and to the right would have the most space to go. Deeper under the house would be straightforward, but there is no doorway that way.
Okay.
Oh, adventurers always go left.
All right, then. Does everyone agree? Are you adventurers?
Well, we're skulking in a basement full of water.
Trespassers, maybe.
Well,
I might as well go left.
As you make your way left, you will find a door to your right, a little ways down, that is closed rather than the open archways that you've gone through. And then to your left, you'll actually see the hallway turns toward the back of the house again, and just out of sight from, if you were 3-4 feet further back, just out of sight would have been the stairs going up. But once you come to that bend, you can see the stairs going up. So door to your right that's closed, and stairs going up to your left, as well as the hallway continuing.
Do you want to try the door, or do you want to go upstairs and see what the other two have been up to?
I guess that depends on whether the door is locked or not.
I'll try opening the door.
It is not locked.
Well, that makes it infinitely less interesting. But I mean, if it's not locked, we might as well check.
Inside is the wine cellar.
You know what? I lied. This is infinitely more interesting.
Well, we got what we came here for. Let's pillage the wine cellar.
It's about a third full.
It's more than empty.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
So, where's this Sealy wine that you were talking about?
I don't know if they have any. We'll have to look at the bottles.
Then
Hopefully
let's go
not one
check.
by one. It's going to take a while.
Well, there are 3 of us.
Well,
Okay.
That's true.
Split up and just look through and see if you find something that looks nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me see what we get here. I'm just going to go ahead and pull 3 cards, one for each of you, and see what shows up. So, who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Okay, for Isolina, we have the 5 of diamonds. That's a power card. We're going to go with the nicest, basically a very excellent year for the type of wine that Jasser had requested, Jasser and the Contessa had requested from the south of France. I don't remember the name they used.
Chateauneuf de Pax.
There you go.
Well, it seems I have found the chateau.
And who's next?
Good,
You
I'll go
going
next.
over on?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you're looking for?
I'm looking for something Sealy.
Well, you found actually something. You think it's actually a dwarven mead. Dwarves are sort of Sealy.
Mhm.
It's the right path, so to speak. But not what you had before. And then we have Carolina, who seems to have found mostly house wines, common vintages, common local wineries, and a bottle of cheap brandy, which she picks up and says, "This will be good if anyone gets hurt."
All right then.
Yes. Well, we came to. Oh my gosh, words! We came and got what we were looking for. I guess now we could go meet up with our friends and maybe our not so friend.
Okay. As you're exiting the wine cellar, you hear a faint sound. It sounds almost like a whisper, but you can't quite make it out. Isolina, you pick up on that for sure. Oberon, what's your perception again? Is
It's
it average?
Yeah.
You don't really notice anything other than kind of any behavioral change that Isolina displays on hearing that, if any.
Oh yeah, while we're still in the cellar.
Yeah. Just as you're about to exit, you hear that sound coming from down the hall.
So as I'm walking with, wine in one hand, gun in the other, as it should be, I'm like, in general, I've been a very jolly person, almost like an excitable puppy, if you had to describe it in any way. Because this is so fun, this is so cool, and I am on an absolute adventure, no matter how cool she tries to act. She is very excited. If she had a tail, it would just be nonstop doing this. But the moment she hears that whisper, um, it's an instant like rigidity that happens in her body, and she stops for a second and like tilts her head to try and like find where it's coming from.
Would you like to play a card?
What is it? What is
that would be diamonds.
Do I want to play a card?
Or a joker is any suit.
Do I want to play the card? Perception. Yeah, I mean, we only have, why not?
Okay.
Ooh.
As you kind of like pause and you focus, you definitely pick up the sound of help me.
From
Coming back the way you came.
back the way we came? At the fork at the road?
Yeah. So you think from the opposite side of that room.
And so I'll stand there and I will listen to it as I hear this. And I will, and if Carolina doesn't pick up on it and she's still walking away, I will, well, both of my hands are full. How do I will nudge her with my elbow.
Okay.
And I will be like, I'll like tap my ear and I'll point over to where we came from, but the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, it sounds like somebody is whispering, maybe grunting, help me.
And she'll turn and look that way and listen very carefully. And she goes, I think here's something.
And I will inch closer down the hallway. Wine in one hand, gun sort of at the ready on the other.
Okay.
And and I'll keep inching, just ears as wide as possible, trying to figure out as much I can identify from this broken voice as possible.
Okay. As you make it back toward, because I'm assuming you're going a little slower than you did coming this direction, being alerted or alarmed. As you inch your way back there, you'll notice in that archway across it, there's a very faint green silhouette of what you think is Santi.
A green silhouette. The same eerie green we saw from the windows?
Yep.
Trying to think. Who are the famous authors who've already existed at this point?
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Mary Shelley, Jules Verne, Shakespeare, of course, Chaucer. Trying to think of other European authors.
Dumas,
Dumas, yep.
Livingston.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think how, like, if she'd go more like, I'm thinking Stephen King, I'm creeped out supernaturally, or more I'm like being more practical about this. Trying to think of which way Selena would go, because she is educated.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, this is some Edgar Allan Poe thing. Like eerie silhouette in the basement.
Just after you found the wine cellar.
I'm quickly checking. Wait, is anybody hear bricks being laid?
Or a still pumping heart.
All right. Oh, you know what? I have courage. I don't give a fuck. That's right.
That's why you hung out the window, right?
That's so true. See, it was being covered by my mic, so I totally forgot about it. I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna see this green silhouette. Education and courage. Oh man, we out here. I will see this green silhouette. Did you say from the doorway or from down the hall?
It seems to be standing just in the archway that would have been to the right instead of the left. So across that last chamber.
So the moment I see anybody, I think I already have my gun trained on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will secondly recognize what this is. And I'm hoping that my action will spur on my friends to also take an action of alarm and caution. And so I will point at it and I will see the green outline, and then I will notice it looks kind of like Santi, but with a green glow. And I will say, what are you?
Help me.
Once I know who you are and what you are.
Help me. With each time that the apparition speaks, it seems to fade ever so slightly.
I will take a step closer to get a better look at whatever this is, person, illusion.
As you get closer, you'll notice that it comes into focus a little bit more. It's a spectral green version of Santi. If you believed in ghosts, you would think that it might be a ghost.
I come from a family of scientists.
That's why I said if you believed in ghosts, you would think it was a ghost. Otherwise, it's some form of illusion.
I'm like, Oberon.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of illusion?
What is this?
Some sort of illusion.
Help
Would you shut
me.
up? Shut up.
Santi?
Stop fading.
Well,
The apparition reaches out, open hand.
I'll take the wine hand and I'll just go through it, see what happens.
It kind of dissipates and swirls around your hand. You actually feel it like a very cool mist. And then it starts to fade more.
Santi, where are you?
The apparition looks as though it's about to speak, as then that disturbed mist kind of ripples throughout the entire form, and it dissipates. back upstairs. We have another ghostly image in a reflection in a window. Stared back at Jasser for just a moment, and then winked out.
Oh la la, mon Dieu! And Jasser will point at the window.
What? What?
He was there. This.
Is that what we're saying?
This Iron Master, he was in the window.
So...
Not him, of course. His portrait, which is now face down. After it was face down, it was still in the window.
Well, Signore, I would love to make your acquaintance, but I can't talk to ghosts if I can't see them. Just sir, you might want to get the fire poker.
But that is in the other room.
Yeah, but it's an iron weapon and it will be useful. Also, if we can find some salt, that would be helpful too.
Jasper looks down at the fireplace. Is there another set of pokers?
No, actually, there isn't.
I think the Contessa is like, kind of like, everything will be fine, and she's playing this off very calmly, but she might not be as calm as she's playing. And she's gonna look up where the portrait was hanging. Is there anything behind on the wall?
No, it's just the wall.
How discolored does the wall look behind what the portrait would be? I mean, like, how clean is the back of where the portrait was versus the discoloration on the wall, particularly over a fireplace?
You would say that the color is much more vibrant compared to the rest of the wall, as though the portrait had been hung there for quite some time.
For a number of years.
That's the impression you're getting. Or a portrait of a similar size, if not this one.
Yeah. Well then. We don't mean to be rude, I was very intrigued by the portraiture and I wanted to know who had done the painting. Also, it would be a lot helpful if I could, talk to a person instead of an empty room. Jasser, are you getting that fireplace poker?
Jasser grabs a chair on the back by the two sides and grabs it and walks assertively with it in front of them, like they're carrying it, as a spacer.
Like the lion tamer that you see in the cartoons with the stool.
Yeah, maybe even like that. Yeah. And carries it into the other room, and if unobstructed, sets it down affirmatively in front of the fireplace and grabs the poker off the ground. Okay.
No incidents as you make your way to the fireplace to grab the poker. You turn. I'm assuming you turn about to head back to where the Contessa is.
I do, and Jasper's going to look in towards the staircase hall, so as to check the light emanation.
It seems to be a little bit further down from the ceiling than it was before. Maybe an inch or so.
I'll put down. Contest. I believe we have some attention.
Well, somebody wants to pay attention to us.
A little bit. I think we have changed some things.
Well then, and you still have the other knife, right? Good. I gave you the knife. I have a knife. I've got 3. And she'll pocket the other 2. It's like, I've got 1 for Oberon. Well, no, I should grab 1 extra. And she'll go back and get another one. It's like, Carolina will probably need one.
Jasper will also pick up the shovel that was there too.
Okay.
Good measure.
Like, she's taking all the steak knives out of the silver drawer. I'm just borrowing. I'm very intrigued by everything in your wonderful house, and you really must introduce me to your decorator. Also, this would be a lot easier if you were physically present She'll look around and see if anything happens.
Are you looking in any direction in particular?
Jacer, you're still looking through to the staircase hall, right?
Jacer, after obtaining the weapons, will have peeked, noticed the change, and then moved back into the dining
The dining
hall.
room.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, then she's gonna like peek into the butler's pantry and into the sun parlor and just kind of anywhere that even into she's still standing in the dining room. She's just kind of looking around, see if there's any reaction anywhere around her.
Let's see. As you peek around, you don't see anything in the sun parlor except for outside into the night in the back of the property. Would have been a really nice place at one time. Needs a lot of work to get back to where it was. And looking down through the butler's pantry, the other doors open on the other side. Seem to be propped open, actually. One of the serving spoons is used to keep it propped open. And you don't see anything, but you swear you hear the sound of footsteps moving away.
I'm told I'm a really good friend to have. If you have any issues or problems, I'll be more than happy to listen to you talk about them. If you need a priest to rededicate your dead remains and bury them properly, I know like 6. I'm also related to about 2, maybe 3, depending on possibly 3. Depending.
As the Countess is calling out, Jacer pauses kind of to think and says, I may have an idea. And they pull into their knowledge of the different plays and things that they've been in, and using performance, they want to pull out this role of like a soothsayer who speaks with the dead and starts trying to entreat them to come out.
Okay.
And I'll use my +2 on that.
Okay.
So that'll give me a 20.
Excellent. As they go through their rendition of a soothsayer reaching out to the dead, very compelling performance. Your voice gets carried by the building and its acoustics that you noticed before, and you kind of can project and send it throughout, taking advantage of that architecture. And you hear it as it infiltrates further into the building, kind of echoes off of some of the walls. And as you do, you hear footsteps again. This time you believe it's above you.
I kind of incline my head towards the Contessa and say, do we wait for our friends or do we go upstairs?
Personally, I'd rather go upstairs when we're all together, but they're taking their sweet-ass time. So, since they're taking their sweet-ass time, I'm going to do something a little bit rash.
What did you have in mind?
Teeny tiny bit. Shit.
There is a pause.
Dramatic pause.
Yes.
Yeah, she froze on like the perfect frame.
Am I back?
Am
I back?
I couldn't print screen it. Damn it.
I know. I know.
It was the perfect freeze frame. You're
Yeah.
doing this.
Little bit rash. It froze at just the most awkward moment. But I'm going to do something a little bit rash. You okay with me being a little bit rash?
What did you have in mind?
Well, they seem to left the kitchen door open. And
Okay.
there's probably a door to the cellar in the kitchen.
If they know that we are in the house, they definitely know that they are in the cellar.
Exactly. So, and she just strides purposely through the butler's pantry, kind of like always being aware of what's going on, but at the same time focus on what she's doing. And she's gonna stride into the kitchen and find the door to the cellar.
Mm-hmm. So the door to the cellar is not actually in the kitchen.
Oh, where is it?
It's past the kitchen,
Oh.
off the servants' dining room.
Oh, off the servant's dining room. Okay, well, she didn't. I mean, it's one of those. She probably would have, she.
You kind of keep walking till you find it.
Yeah. Yeah, and she grew up in a large house, and she ran a large house like this. So, she'd walk all the way to the door, open it, and shout down loudly, "Oberon, have you found the wine bottle yet? I'm getting bored up here by myself."
As the Contessa does that, Jasser follows them into the kitchen and then starts looking for wine glasses because they know what's happening.
As you look through the shelves, they're not actually in the kitchen, but if you go back into the butler's pantry, you'll find it in there. There are wine glasses stored in the butler's pantry.
So Jasser will pull out 5 of those and a to kind of rinse things out and wash and get rid of dust.
Excellent.
And after she shouts down the stairwell, she'll walk back into the kitchen and start seeing if she can find any salt.
Okay.
Specifically, if she can't find it in seasoning, she'll look above the stove. Because it's a useful thing that people would usually stir above the stove to get rid of grease fires.
Yep. And you'll find salt that has kind of clumped together. Still there, but it's not as granular as it once was.
She'll take a quick look around the kitchen and see if she can find a mortar and pestle.
If you dig around enough, you'll find them in the pantry.
Or you can just chug it at the ghost.
Yeah, that's a waste of useful tools. She'll grab the salt and the mortar and pestle and just start quick grinding it.
Okay.
Waiting for them to come upstairs with the wine. So, Jasser, how are you doing? Kind of thing. It continues.
Jasser's just clearing the glasses. Oh, I think I'm okay. I'm a little thirsty, still a little sore, but the wine will help.
Don't know it's taking them so long. They should be here by now.
After a few minutes, down in the basement, the apparition of Santi has disappeared. You look around and you hear the words of the Contessa echoing from the stairwell behind you.
Tessa.
Carolina turns, says, "Well, are you going to keep her waiting?"
Wait, she said she was by herself. What happened to Jasser?
That's an excellent question. Are you going to be subtle, or are you going to go up there and ask?
Well, if Jasser is in danger, we shouldn't be subtle, and we shouldn't tarry along in the cellar any longer than we need to.
Well, then go ahead, Oberon.
Go ahead,
Men
guy
first.
with a cane that has trouble running.
Mm-hmm. Can't get the Contessa waiting.
But is he dashing?
Well, the hem of my pants is wet. My shoes probably make a weird slish-slosh sound as I walk. I don't know if that adds to my dashingness. Or not? I believe not.
It's a look.
Yeah,
Yeah, just walk it.
definitely.
You could rock it. It'll be fine.
I'm gonna drag water all over the floors. Take that, house.
You make your way upstairs and you come out into the servants' dining room. Squash, slosh, all that fun sounds. And across you see the kitchen. Jasser and the Contessa, you hear this squelching, I guess, of footsteps.
Oh, good. You're here. And she's got the mortar and pestle just kind of grinding up the salt again. So, did you
Yes.
find the wine?
Jasser will have like probably the shovel, even though it's probably not the more sturdy of the two. It's just a little bit more substantial as far as like breadth. We'll have the shovel up and ready to kind of bap.
Jasser, I thought something wrong happened to you. The Contessa said that she was alone up here.
It got you up here.
Well, it worked.
So, ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
Ghosts. Illusions.
Ghosts.
Illusions. No such thing as a ghost.
There are more things in this world, Signorina, than are left in your philosophy or your science.
Believe what you will. We saw an illusion of Santi down below.
So I saw the dead master of this house.
Oh,
And apparently he's, well, let me phrase that. He didn't look Prussian, but he favored the Prussian military uniform.
We are assuming a lot of things here. But we are being invited upstairs.
by whom?
The dead.
By the person we are chasing.
Well, he also is dripping creepy green
Light.
mist. The light is entertaining. It's actually has a beautiful aesthetic. By the way, Isolina, you will love the living room here. It's a beautiful floor, absolutely perfect for waltzing. Wouldn't you agree, Jose?
Oh, most definitely. I would come back here and throw a party. It'd be a bon fête.
So, do we have the wine yet?
I have Dwarven mead.
Yes.
That's
here
not
you-
wine. And she'll reach out and take it. And like, Jose, you grabbed the corkscrew, right?
And Jasser will produce the corkscrew that they totally grabbed from the butler's pantry.
100%.
Absolutely.
You grabbed the glasses. Why wouldn't you grab the corkscrew? And she'll just like, yeah, it's been an evening. How was yours? And she'll be slightly more aggressive than necessary when opening this bottle.
I've been told that I need to be assertive and less subtle because these games aren't my forte.
Corset first. Talk about the corset first.
Oh, yes. In
It's just
order
pouring
for
out
you to move easier, have an easier time moving around, I thought that maybe I could remove your corset for you.
Darling, we're only going to do that when we have a lot more time and a lot more flat surfaces that are more comfortable than this place.
But the whole thing is that you have trouble moving in this place right now.
And
Isn't
I'm
it?
not going to do it naked.
Oh, I found clothes downstairs.
I'm not going to do it naked.
But don't you have clothing under your corset?
Define clothing.
Well, it doesn't show your ankles, doesn't it?
You can work on finding out later.
Was that too subtle?
I think everyone knows you.
Everyone did.
Hmm.
If you want to find out what's underneath this dress, we're getting out of here first.
But first, let's visit the bedrooms.
Anyone else for wine? And she hands a glass to Jacer.
Okay, I take Iselina aside for a split second, and I'm like, see, this what she said about the dress. Is this code for something, or is this just?
No, I'm pretty sure she is being very literal. And she is just literally laying it out there for you. She is presenting you options.
And I'll open my bottle of mead and drink a long sip of it, and then say, and I was the one that sent the flowers. There, I said it.
You know, that could have been addressed at breakfast. And then things would have been very different at breakfast.
But
Well,
I
they
was
would have been
trying.
undressed.
Huh?
Breakfast would have been undressed.
Probably.
Well, I was trying to play the subtle game like you, and evidently I am more subtler than you are.
No, honey. Leaving off a card to tell me who they're from. That's not subtler. That's you forgot something. Kind of important.
But the mystery. Didn't you wish to find out who it was?
And she'll look at you for a second, sigh, shake her head. You're not the only person who would send me flowers, darling.
But then in Barcelona, there's, well, the four of us. I don't think Carolina would send you flowers.
I don't know her that well yet.
Lord
And I
Marcus?
don't. No, Lord Marcus would not send me flowers. Well, let me phrase that. He wouldn't send me red roses.
No, his wife would have his head.
Then that leaves only the four of us. See? That would have been like a mystery.
Or Enrique, or Santi, or Henri, or...
Moi, I would send red roses just for fun.
Well, I appreciate that, darling.
You are beautiful.
Thank you. But
Wow, you are not subtle.
No, and I'm sure his penmanship is exquisite.
Is that code for something?
Jasser takes a very long drink.
no, that's a statement about leaving a signed card with flowers. You know what? Whatever. She'll chug the glass, turn around. You want a response, darling? And she'll literally turn around, grab Oberon by the face, and say, "Here," and kiss him.
He's gonna turn red.
And that is where we are going to draw the curtain tonight.
But
Will we find out if Oberon spontaneously casts magic?
or spontaneously combusts.
Come back next time to find out if the Contessa can cause Oberon to spontaneously combust from a kiss.
And all that was left was a cane.
Yeah, but it's made of wrought iron, so you might want to pick it up.
This is true. Oh, you gave me a beautiful place to draw the curtain tonight. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to the audience for sticking with us through Twitch's twitchiness as well. We hope you had a great time. Thank you to Godless Lawyer for the donation at the end of last game that turned into some pluses that played out beautifully tonight. And Simon, take it away with outros.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for playing. Thank you for GMing. Thank you for hanging out in chat, and especially for Godless Lawyer and all the puns. That was very entertaining. Thank you for those of you that have just lurked and watched. We always appreciate your presence. And well, I'm Simon Wondering the M. This is my channel. We'll do the outros. I'll do the last of the spiel at the very end. But let's do the reverse order in which we introduced ourselves. So we'll start with our host, Chris.
I am Chris. You can find me on Twitter at Chris Geary. That's the handle that's right down there at the bottom of the frame. I am here every Friday night as the host of Adventures in Castle Falkenstein, and over on Soul Bear RPG's channel every Sunday evening for The Shattered Eye. Yeah, come hang out. We're so glad to have you. Thank you for letting me host this game on your channel, Simon.
No problem. You're very welcome. PB, where can we find you?
Hi, I'm PB from @PB Plays Inside, in which you can find me on Twitter and on Twitch. I do variety streaming on Twitch, and you can find me all over Twitch on different channels playing different systems of role-playing games. One being tomorrow, Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, I think, over on Experience Points, playing some Starfinder. I was going to call it Star Pathfinder, which wouldn't be wrong, but also not right. Starfinder. On Mondays, you can find me over on the Greyhawk channel playing some The Grove Where We Met, some D&D, where we're a bunch of people who lost their memories and are going through a Fey forest trying to figure out what the heck. And do I have another show going? No. And then this show on Fridays. That's what I'm doing.
Cool. Deirdre.
Hey y'all, you know me. I'm at Deirdre Donlin on Twitter or Praxagorthesmia as you see me hanging out in Twitch chat. Excuse me. And as for me, I hang out here a lot. I have lots of fun. I'll be back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 1 p.m. for to drive some fine folk mad through Go West as we get to the end. We're getting close to the end of that. It'll be very entertaining to see if our dear deputy maintains his sanity through it all. We'll see.
I will make sure I don't.
And y'all are going to have dinner at the Bradfords. It'll be absolutely fabulous, y'all. Then over on Sunday with Simon and Chris for some Shattered family drama, and things are coming out and stories are happening, and I'm all entertained. Tuesday back here for Dark Matter and the fun that is, because that also very entertaining. Also, hashtag love your clerics, because some of us may have discovered a way to inoculate against, mind flayers. If you've seen Baldur's Gate trailer, you know why that's important. And then back here on Fridays for all the fun that is Castle Falkenstein. But check my Twitter. I always tell you where I'm going to be and all the fun things that will happen.
And last but not least, Kenny. Where can
Hi. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'm very eager. Hi, my name is Kenny. You can find me on Twitter at PunderDrone. You can also find me on the Experience Points Twitter at EQ Points. I'm a part of the Experience Points Network, where we have 2 podcasts, and we are streaming our Starfinder game, where our lovely crew is going to be exploring, and they have just seen a fire-breathing space whale. Find out how that turns out on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific, at our Twitch channel, Experience Points. We also have 2 podcasts. The Experience Points one releases on Wednesdays, and every other Friday we release a Numenera podcast called Numenera, where I play a sweet, simple boy, Hillian. He is an earnest Jack who howls at the moon.
Numenera is always fun.
It's a really good game.
We have gotten a donation from Godless Lawyer. Thank you, of 300 bits, which is the Tempt Fate reward. So, Chris, why don't you pull a card for us?
Alrighty. Thank you again, Godless Lawyer. We have Tempted Fate, and it came up bonuses for the host.
Oh.
Tempt Fate, single card pull. Red is for the random PC to get a +2. Black is a +2 for the host. So next session, I get to have an advantage. Thank you, Godless Lawyer.
Well then. And I am Simon, Wandering DM. I said that already. By the way, we are sponsored by Mage and Press. If you want to go on store.mageandpress.com and you can use the coupon code WanderingDM for 15% off on any and all of your purchases. They have just released a new book called Taverns and Tankards, which is a book all about tavern keeping and bar brawls and all the fun things that you can do when you go out for a night of drinking with your adventuring buddies and wake up in some very exotic locales. We have shows here all over the place throughout the week. Tomorrow, you can come and join us for some Pulp Cthulhu at 1 p.m. On Sunday, I can be found on Sobe RPG with Chris and Deirdre for Shattered Eye. On Monday, this Monday, we won't have a stream on Role Players, so it'll go to next week. But this Tuesday, we will be reprising Dark Matter. We had to cancel last week, but we'll be here this week for some more Dark Matter shenanigans. And on Thursdays, we had to skip this week as well because IRL stuff was a pain. But you can join us for some traditional D&D with Keep on the Shadowfell. So on that note, let us raid. I don't have anyone to raid because apparently on Friday nights, nobody wants to be online.
Welcome Party RPG is there, so is Phantom Roll Booth.
Oh, we can go with Phantom Roll Booth. They had they introduced their new show today. The Drow game with only trans players.
Oh, nice.
So you might want to check that out. I know that Kayla from Shattered Eye was playing in it.
And Kika.
Oh, and Kika as well. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Phantom Roll Booth.
It says it's starting soon on its screen.
All right, well then let's raid them, share the love, and we will see you next week. Ciao, everyone.